Your Warhammer 40,000 roleplay Imperium Maledictum characters are always searching for the right tool for the current job. And the Macharian Requisition Guide is chock full of new gear, augmentations, weapons, vehicles, even planetary services. And I'll be sharing my review of the Requisition Guide right after this. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Before I dive on into today's review, I do want to mention if you enjoyed the Gaming Gang and would like to support the outlet, you can do so in a few ways. First, by utilizing our affiliate links to the One Bookshelf sites, such as DriveThruRPG, and to do so, simply visit thegaminggang.com, click on one of our banners. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. You can also make a one-time donation by way of PayPal or become a monthly member of our Patreon. You'll find links in the show notes. Also, in those show notes, you're going to find an invite link to our Discord server. It's absolutely free to sign up, so be sure to hang with the gang over on Discord. Today, I'll be sharing my review of the Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Imperium Maledictum Macharian Requisition Guide from Cubicle 7 Games. Boy, that just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? This 128-page hardcover with PDF carries an MSRP of $39.99. If you want to score just the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Having said all that, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the Macharian Requisition Guide for Warhammer 40K Roleplay Imperium Maledictum. A couple of things to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, my friends over at Cubicle 7 Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this review with you. These days, it's important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the book. I do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find inside. First thing we're going to do is take a peek at the credits page. A lot of folks worked very hard to bring this to life. So let's give credit where credit is due. At its essence, the Requisition Guide is a gear book. So we have new equipment, we've got new armor, new weapons, new vehicles, vehicle rules, as well as services, which, funny enough, happens to be my favorite portion of this book. I found it pretty interesting. There are a wide range of hirelings that the player characters can bring on board. I really enjoyed that a lot. I mean, there's even a section there about renting void ships. So very, very cool throughout. So we'll start off with some curios that you can roll up randomly for the player characters. We also get origin items. Now, of course, none of these are earth-shattering or world-breaking items here, but they do add some flavor, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then we're going to dive right on into the new equipment. So we have new ways for the player characters to augment themselves. We have books. We've got food and drink. We have new kits that can be provided based upon the role of the character in the team. Here, once again, we've got the food and drink that are in here. So a lot of stuff going on with this requisition guide. And you would think, oh, well, maybe it's just mainly focused on weapons and armor and such. No, not really. I mean, now granted, we do have a good amount of new weapons, and armor and vehicles and such, but there's just a lot of just unique pieces of gear that could come into play depending on the mission that happens to be at hand. We've got custom ammunition. So I will point out that it's not as if the information that's in the Macharian Requisition Guide is must own for game masters out there, but I do believe you will get quite a bit of use out of this book, especially with the weapons and the armor, and of course with the various different vehicles too. So I thought that was pretty nicely done. This is the section that's all about the services, so like world transport. Then we get into the different hirelings, like astropath, a fence, a scholar, a pilot, a medical professional. Really nicely done. I thought this was pretty cool. And it actually addresses a need that, to be honest, as a game master, I probably wouldn't have even thought of as far as Imperium Maledictum. So I thought that was very nicely done also. As far as the production quality, it's what we've come to expect from Cubicle 7 Games. Over the last couple of years, the paper stock has really improved for Cubicle 7 releases. Artwork throughout, really, really solid. Not a ton of artwork, but still what we do have really nicely done. So this also has a stitched binding, so this should hold up very nicely at the game table. All right, so that is a peek inside the Macharian Requisition Guide for Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Imperium Maledictum from Cubicle 7 Games. Of course, this is available now. It does carry an MSRP with PDF of $39.99. If you want to grab just the PDF alone, you can do so at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because I'm going to share some final thoughts as well as my review score. As I pointed out, I don't think that this book is mission critical for game masters out there, but you'll probably be thankful that you have it handy if you are running Imperium Maledictum campaigns. It's not only focused on weapons and armor and vehicles and such. There's a lot of really interesting, useful gear that's contained within. And I do especially like the services section. And I appreciate that we do have the kits that are available of various different pieces of equipment that you can assign to your player characters based upon what their role is as far as the team. So all in all, very nicely done. Once again, like I said, I don't think this is a must own, but I do think most Imperium Maledictum game masters will get quite a bit of use out of the requisition guide. So on a scale of 0 to 10, I give the Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Imperium Maledictum Macharian Requisition Guide, that is a mouthful, a 7.5 out of 10. All right, that is it for this time out. If you liked the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it will not only let you know when I share videos such as this review, if you mark the all notifications, you'll also find out when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.